The dream of owning the perfect home is within reach for Malia, but as her eyes glance at Aunt Sharon's perfect smile behind the sparkling glass of wine, a vague feeling of deception begins to creep in, signaling a family battle filled with tears and deadly secrets. Family and betrayal. A complex web of relationships and emotional turmoil. The story begins with the seemingly happy prospect of Malia finally realizing her dream of owning a charming craftsman-style house, a symbol of independence and maturity. But just as hope flickers on her phone screen with a message from her real estate agent, the curtain begins to lift on a family drama filled with betrayal. Enter Aunt Sharon, the revered family matriarch, the generous aunt who has portrayed herself as the rock of the family ever since Malia's mother passed away. She arrives with that perfect smile and a sparkling glass of wine. With a voice of authority and sharp persuasion, Sharon skillfully steers the conversation from Malia's joy to a family emergency, gently revealing that the family fund where Malia's late mother had trusted her savings has been depleted due to medical bills for George, a distant cousin whom Malia hasn't heard from in years. From that very moment, the reader senses the tension beneath Sharon's calm exterior. Her flawless facade slowly begins to crack when Malia unexpectedly discovers that her hard-earned savings, painstakingly accumulated over the years, have been reduced to a mere $246. A wave of shock overwhelms her as she realizes that she has been betrayed by the very aunt she once trusted unconditionally. Sharon had cunningly exploited Malia's naivety and trust by pressuring her to sign beneficiary update papers during a Christmas party, thereby making Malia the legal co-owner of the family account, allowing Sharon to legally but deceitfully drain the funds. The confrontation. A battle of wits and emotions. The confrontation between Malia and Sharon is nothing short of dramatic, as the truth unravels and emotions reach a boiling point. Sharon's lavish kitchen, with its gleaming marble countertops, a symbol of wealth built on deception, becomes the battleground for the first clash between these two strong-willed women. Sharon remains unfazed and even faces Malia's outrage with a cold smile and the justification that it's all for the family. She manipulates emotions by invoking Malia's late mother, claiming that she would have done the same if she were alive. It's a cruel moment, as Sharon weaponizes Malia's love for her mother to distort the truth and justify her own greed. The emotional climax erupts when Malia fights back, her eyes brimming with tears but fueled by a newfound determination. She dares to stand up against Sharon's authoritarian manipulation and refuses to be crushed by the emotional blackmail. Malia leaves that opulent house with a shattered heart and a broken dream, but she carries something far more valuable: the resolve to seek justice and dismantle her aunt's empire of deceit. Family and betrayal. The thread that weaves the story together. Family and betrayal are not only the central themes, but also the thread connecting the gripping twists and turns of this emotional drama. It portrays the complexity of blood ties, where love and trust can be exploited to create power and control. In Malia's journey, the story goes beyond reclaiming lost assets. It is about the emotional struggle of confronting harsh truths about those she once loved. This makes the narrative deeply engaging, dramatic, and emotionally resonant. The aftermath. A battle for justice and honor. After confronting Sharon and uncovering the brutal truth about her stolen savings, Malia stands at a crossroads between resentment and the pursuit of justice. It would be easy to succumb to anger and bitterness, but Malia chooses the harder path, to seek justice for her mother, who lost her life trying to protect the family from Sharon's manipulative clutches. This is not merely a battle over money. It's a fight to reclaim honor and truth, to tear down the empire of lies built on the tears and blood of her own family. In the midst of a shattered heart and a dream of homeownership turned to dust, Malia finds strength in her pain. She calls Nick, her childhood friend turned financial investigator, the only person she can trust amidst the web of deception. Their reunion takes place in his car, under the dim streetlight, his voice calm yet steely, as he listens to Malia recount everything. From the beneficiary update forms to the depleted savings account. Malia, this isn't just a simple fraud. Sharon has built an entire empire of financial crime, Nick concludes as he examines the photos of bank documents Malia managed to snap. His eyes flash with the sharpness of an investigator, while his heart burns with anger for his dear friend. The quest for justice. Strategy over anger. Determined to seek justice, Malia recalls her mother's words: "The truth will always prevail, as long as you have the courage to face it." Malia knows this battle isn't just for her. It's for her mother's honor and the future of her family. But to defeat Sharon, a woman who has manipulated the entire family with power and money, she must play Sharon's game with greater cunning. And so, the plan for rightful revenge is crafted, not with blind rage, but with the sharp strategy of justice. The first step is to gather evidence of Sharon's fraudulent schemes. Malia and Nick search through the dusty attic of her mother's house, piled high with forgotten boxes of memories. When she uncovers old bank statements showing transfers to offshore accounts right after her mother's death, a chilling realization washes over her. This isn't just proof of theft, it reveals a darker truth. Her mother's death may not have been an accident after all. The game of deception. Malia's counterattack. The stakes rise as Malia prepares to confront Sharon without revealing the evidence she holds. Using a delicate, calculated approach, she meets Sharon at the family gathering that weekend, dropping subtle hints like breadcrumbs to gauge her reaction. Sharon smiles perfectly, but a flicker of caution in her eyes reveals that she senses Malia is no longer the naive girl she once manipulated. This is no longer just a battle over stolen savings. It's about exposing the cold-hearted betrayal hidden behind that flawless smile and bringing justice to light, no matter the cost. The dream of owning the perfect home is within reach for Malia. But as her eyes glance at Aunt Sharon's perfect smile behind the sparkling glass of wine, a vague feeling of deception begins to creep in, signaling a family battle filled with tears and deadly secrets. Family and betrayal, a complex web of relationships and emotional turmoil. The story begins with the seemingly happy prospect of Malia finally realizing her dream of owning a charming craftsman-style house, a symbol of independence and maturity. But just as hope flickers on her phone screen with a message from her real estate agent, the curtain begins to lift on a family drama filled with betrayal. Enter Aunt Sharon, the revered family matriarch, the generous aunt who has portrayed herself as the rock of the family ever since Malia's mother passed away. She arrives with that perfect smile and a sparkling glass of wine. With a voice of authority and sharp persuasion, Sharon skillfully steers the conversation from Malia's joy to a family emergency, gently revealing that the family fund, where Malia's late mother had trusted her savings, has been depleted due to medical bills for George, a distant cousin whom Malia hasn't heard from in years. From that very moment, the reader senses the tension beneath Sharon's calm exterior. Her flawless facade slowly begins to crack when Malia unexpectedly discovers that her hard-earned savings, painstakingly accumulated over the years, have been reduced to a mere $246. A wave of shock overwhelms her as she realizes that she has been betrayed by the very aunt she once trusted unconditionally. Sharon had cunningly exploited Malia's naivety and trust by pressuring her to sign beneficiary update papers during a Christmas party, thereby making Malia the legal co-owner of the family account, allowing Sharon to legally but deceitfully drain the funds. The confrontation, a battle of wits and emotions. The confrontation between Malia and Sharon is nothing short of dramatic, as the truth unravels and emotions reach a boiling point. Sharon's lavish kitchen, with its gleaming marble countertops, a symbol of wealth built on deception, becomes the battleground for the first clash between these two strong-willed women. Sharon remains unfazed, and even faces Malia's outrage with a cold smile and the justification that it's all for the family. She manipulates emotions by invoking Malia's late mother, claiming that she would have done the same if she were alive. It's a cruel moment, as Sharon weaponizes Malia's love for her mother to distort the truth and justify her own greed. The emotional climax erupts when Malia fights back, her eyes brimming with tears, but fueled by a newfound determination. She dares to stand up against Sharon's authoritarian manipulation and refuses to be crushed by the emotional blackmail. Malia leaves that opulent house with a shattered heart and a broken dream. But she carries something far more valuable: the resolve to seek justice and dismantle her aunt's empire of deceit. The retaliation? A dangerous game of cat and mouse. However, Sharon is not one to back down easily. In swift retaliation, she plants spies to follow Malia and Nick. Strange phone calls start to haunt Malia. Her house is broken into, and one night, while driving home, she realizes her brakes have failed on a dangerous downhill road. As her car hurtles toward a deep ravine, with the wind howling through the shattered window, Malia catches a glimpse of a black car speeding away above. A cold, calculated warning from Sharon. But if Sharon thought she could scare Malia into abandoning her fight, she was gravely mistaken. Surviving the accident only makes Malia stronger, her eyes burning with renewed determination. Sharon wants to play dirty? Fine. I'll play her game, but I'll do it fair and square, with the law and the truth on my side, Malia whispers to herself, clutching a photo of her mother smiling gently. Justice and revenge become intertwined, driving the narrative with every heartbeat. Malia's battle is no longer just about reclaiming stolen assets, but about restoring her mother's honor, her family's dignity, and her own self-worth. The story takes readers through a roller coaster of emotions, from seething anger to unshakable faith in justice, crafting a thrilling and breathtaking journey. Secrets and lies, the dark truth behind the perfect facade. The deeper Malia delves into Sharon's financial web, the darker the secrets she uncovers behind the seemingly flawless exterior of this powerful woman. In American society, where success and status are often measured by wealth and power, Sharon masterfully crafted an image of a successful businesswoman and generous philanthropist, all to mask her intricate fraud schemes. To maintain her public reputation and control over the family, Sharon built an empire of deceit on shocking secrets and manipulative calculations. Malia discovers that everything in her family was orchestrated by Sharon. From inheritance distribution to the narratives spun during Thanksgiving dinners. The radiant family portraits hanging in the luxurious living room, the grand dinners under the sparkling chandeliers, all were staged to conceal the truth that Sharon had manipulated everyone through money and power. Even the lavish charity galas Sharon hosted were nothing more than elaborate money laundering schemes. The deception runs so deep that even Malia's mother's will was forged, transferring all her assets to Sharon. When Malia discovers the real will locked away in a safe deposit box at Coastal Credit Union, she realizes that her mother had known of Sharon's scheme but couldn't expose the truth before her untimely death. Anger and grief twist inside her as she reads her mother's final words, warning her never to trust Sharon. Inheritance and power. The battle for legacy and freedom. In American society, where inheritance symbolizes not only wealth but also power and family honor, Sharon cunningly turned the family trust into a tool to control every member. She didn't just steal assets, she manipulated emotions, creating a cycle of financial dependency that forced everyone to rely on her to maintain their lavish American lifestyle. Malia knows that to free herself and her family, she must break this cycle. She decides to reveal the truth about Sharon's forgery at a special family gathering. A Christmas Eve dinner, where Sharon always sat at the head of the table with an air of authority. In the warmth of a seemingly perfect holiday evening, Malia places the real will on the table, the yellowed pages falling like irrefutable accusations. "This is the truth about my mother's legacy," she declares, her eyes locked on Sharon, no longer wavering. Resilience and growth, overcoming pain and conquering self. As the truth comes to light, tears of betrayal give way to a blazing resolve in Malia's heart. But to defeat Sharon, a powerful woman who had manipulated the entire family, Malia knows she must grow stronger and wiser than ever before. She is no longer the naive girl who believed in sweet lies of family love. She becomes the leader of the fight for justice for her mother. At the final family gathering held at Sharon's coastal mansion, once a symbol of power and wealth, Sharon is no longer at the head of the table. She faces the wrath of the family as Malia reveals all the evidence of fraud, from the forged will to the offshore bank accounts. And in the most unexpected turn, Malia presents her mother's final letter, warning her of Sharon's betrayal and urging her to stand strong. In that moment, Malia feels her mother's presence, giving her the strength to face Sharon's final threats and schemes. "I won't let you destroy anyone else," Malia declares with a voice so powerful and authoritative that she doesn't even recognize herself. rebirth and healing, rebuilding trust and family from ashes. After the legal battle ends and Sharon is sentenced to life in prison, Malia realizes the greatest battle isn't with Sharon, but with her own family's broken trust. On a quiet afternoon at her new craftsman-style home, the very house she fought her whole life to reclaim, Malia faces her family, determined to rebuild what Sharon tried to destroy. Standing in the sunlight that filters through the window, she says, "Sharon didn't just steal our money. She stole our trust. But today we can choose to take that back." With each heartfelt apology, with every embrace and every tear, Malia rebuilds her family. And with that, she wins back not just her inheritance, but the love and trust that truly make a home. Closing the past and starting a new chapter. True freedom and liberation. After healing the wounds within her family, Malia realizes there is one final confrontation she must face: confronting her past and freeing herself from the shadow of betrayal. She decides to return to her mother's old house, a place filled with happy memories, but also the origin of Sharon's web of deceit. Now abandoned and hauntingly silent, the house stands as a mute witness to the family's tragedy. But Malia knows that to begin a new chapter, she must face everything that happened in this place. Walking through rooms covered in dust and echoes of time, Malia recalls memories of her mother standing by the window, smiling gently, an evening spent by the fireplace reading fairy tales. But those happy memories are quickly replaced by the pain of loss when she notices a family photo deliberately cut to remove her mother's face. "She wanted to erase my mother's presence from our memories," Malia whispers, tears streaming down her face as she touches the cold, empty picture frame. This betrayal wasn't just about money. It was about love and honor. She enters the final room, the room where Sharon kept all the financial documents she used to manipulate the family. On the desk lies her mother's final letter, filled with words of love and hope that Malia would find true happiness. "My dear, live a life unchained from the past and free from hatred." The trembling handwriting carrying immense strength. Malia feels her mother's presence, like a warm embrace from above. It is in this moment that Malia realizes the only way to conquer the past is to let it go, not to forgive Sharon, but to free herself from the shadows of resentment. She steps out of the old house, looking back one last time before gently closing the door on her past. Sunlight bathes her radiant face, signaling the beginning of a new chapter. In that moment, Malia is truly free, not just from Sharon's manipulation, but from the prison of pain in her own heart. She is no longer a victim. She has emerged victorious, stronger and wiser after a turbulent journey. As she walks back to her new home, the craftsman house filled with light and laughter, Malia knows she has regained not just her inheritance or honor, but her life and true freedom. The meaning of justice and truth. Closing the past and opening a future of hope. After closing the door on her past and freeing herself from the shadow of betrayal, Malia knows there's one last mission to fulfill: bringing the truth to light and delivering justice to her late mother. Standing before her mother's grave in the peaceful cemetery covered with fallen autumn leaves, Malia feels the cold wind whispering painful memories of her mother's untimely death. "Mom, I did it. Sharon can't hurt anyone anymore," she whispers, tears flowing, but her heart is filled with peace and relief. Just as Malia believes it's all over, she receives an anonymous letter in her mailbox. Written in jagged, hurried handwriting, the letter bears a chilling warning. Some truths are better left buried. Dig deeper, and you'll join your mother. A cold shiver runs down her spine as she realizes Sharon was not alone in her web of lies. Someone is still pulling the strings, hiding darker secrets that Malia has yet to uncover. With Nick's help, they trace the letter back to a powerful financial partner on Wall Street who once conspired with Sharon in international money laundering. This man is using his wealth and influence to cover his tracks and even manipulate the legal system. Malia understands that to truly deliver justice for her mother and family, she must confront an even more dangerous enemy. One who wields the power to bend American justice to his will. The final showdown takes place in a federal courtroom, where Malia faces the ruthless mastermind. You think you can hide the truth forever? The truth always finds its way out, one way or another. Malia declares, her voice echoing through the courtroom, capturing the attention of the judge and jury. The mastermind smirks, confident that his power and money will shield him from justice, but Malia is prepared. She presents undeniable evidence. Secret recordings her mother had hidden before her death. As the court delivers a life sentence to the mastermind, the room erupts in emotion. Malia can't hold back her tears of joy as justice is finally served. She turns to see Nick and her family smiling with pride, knowing that this painful, arduous journey has come to a complete and fulfilling end. "Mom, justice is yours at last," she whispers as a warm breeze softly caresses her cheek, like a gentle touch from her mother in heaven. The meaning of justice and truth is not only about exposing crime, but also about freeing the soul and building a new future. In that moment, Malia not only defeats her enemies but also triumphs over destiny, closing a painful past to open a future filled with hope. The truth has been revealed, justice has been served, and Malia's life is finally free. The power of forgiveness and new beginnings. A triumphant conclusion to a journey of tears and hope. After the truth is revealed and justice is served, Malia thinks the story is over, but there is still an unhealed wound in her heart. The betrayal of the person she once loved the most, Aunt Sharon. How can she forgive the woman who stole not just her inheritance, but also her mother? That's the question Malia can't answer as she stands before the prison cell where Sharon is being held. That afternoon, sunlight streams through the cold iron bars, creating a striking contrast between freedom and confinement. Sharon appears, worn and weary, her hair disheveled and eyes full of remorse. "Malia, I was wrong. I let greed and power blind me. But I never meant to kill your mother. It was an accident. Just an accident." Sharon's voice trembles, tears glistening in her eyes as they catch the fading light. Malia senses the sincerity in Sharon's words, but the anger and hurt in her heart remain raw. She wants to scream that no apology can bring her mother back. But as she looks into Sharon's tearful eyes, Malia realizes that forgiveness isn't about freeing Sharon. It's about freeing herself. She understands that if she continues to hold on to her hatred, she'll never truly be free. "I forgive you, not because you deserve it, but because I deserve peace," Malia says, her voice gentle yet firm. She turns and walks away from the prison, feeling the weight of resentment lift from her shoulders, leaving behind a sense of peace and true freedom. Sharon collapses, sobbing uncontrollably, but Malia doesn't look back. She knows that her choice to forgive has freed not just herself but her entire family from the chains of the past. That night, Malia returns to her craftsman home, filled with warm, golden light spilling out of the windows. Inside, her family gathers, laughing and sharing old stories about her mother, the woman who taught her about unconditional love and forgiveness. As she steps through the door, Malia feels a happiness she never thought she'd feel again. Forgiveness has allowed Malia to close a painful chapter and open a new one full of hope. Her new beginning isn't just the craftsman house she fought so hard to reclaim. It's a life filled with love and family unity. In that moment, Malia realizes that true victory isn't about defeating an enemy, but conquering herself. And that is her greatest triumph.